The wine glass trembled in Kaima Monroe's hand as she approached the private dining room. Not from nerves, she'd been waitressing at Black Orchid for 2 years, but from the weight of the tray balanced on her left palm. 3 bottles of Chateau Margaux, each worth more than her monthly rent, clinked softly against crystal decanters. Through the frosted glass door she could see them. Table 1. The couple everyone whispered about in the kitchen. Han Jae-Seok, with his perfectly tailored charcoal suit, and the kind of stillness that made people step back without knowing why. And Isabella Chen draped in emerald silk, laughing at something on her phone. Kaima pushed through the door with her hip, professional smile fixed in place. "Your wine selection, Mr. Han." He didn't look up. Just nodded once, that minimal acknowledgement that meant she could pour and disappear. Isabella's fingers traced the rim of her glass, diamonds catching the low amber light. Kaima was halfway through decanting the second bottle when she heard it. Not from table 1, from the service corridor behind the wine wall. Voices, low and urgent, speaking through the ventilation grate that connected to the storage room. Glass wall faces north. Clean sightline from the parking structure across the street. Her hand stilled. Just for a second. Dessert course. Chocolate soufflé takes 12 minutes. He always watches them bring it out. And the girl. Isabella will handle the distraction. She'll move left, create the angle we need. Kaima's pulse kicked against her throat. She finished pouring, movements automatic while her mind raced. Positions. Timing. Glass wall. These weren't restaurant staff. These were. "Thank you." Jae-Seok's voice cut through her spiral. Dark eyes lifted to hers, polite but distant. "That will be all." She nodded, turned, walked out on legs that felt disconnected from her body. The door clicked shut behind her. In the corridor, she pressed her back against the wall, breathing through her nose. Someone at table 1 was about to die. And she just served them wine like it was a normal Thursday night. Her manager, Marcus, swept past with a tray of appetizers. "Kaima, you good? You look pale." "I'm fine." The lie tasted metallic. "Just need a minute." She couldn't go to Marcus. Couldn't call the cops. By the time they arrived, asking questions, verifying her story, it would be over. The men behind that wall had spoken with the cold precision of people who'd done this before. Who knew exactly how long a soufflé took to bake. Kaima's hand found her apron pocket, fingers closing around the order pad she always carried. Her pen hovered over a blank receipt. This was insane. She didn't know these people. Didn't know what world they moved in or what consequences came with interference. But she'd heard the words. Dessert. Glass wall. Distraction. She wrote fast, handwriting a jagged scrawl. "Your fiancé sold you out. They're in position." The paper felt impossibly light as she folded it once, twice. Her reflection stared back from the polished chrome of a service cart. 26 years old, sociology degree she'd never used, and now this. This moment that could end her life or save someone else's. Marcus called from the kitchen. "Kaima, table 7 needs their check." "1 second." She grabbed a fresh wine bottle from the cooler, prop, excuse, reason to return, and pushed back through the frosted door. Jae-Seok was saying something to Isabella, his hand covering hers on the white tablecloth. She was smiling. That performer's smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. Kaima approached, bottle raised slightly. "Apologies, Mr. Han. I forgot to mention, the sommelier suggested this vintage as well, if you'd like to compare." He glanced up, mild irritation flickering across his features. "We're fine with." She set the bottle down. Let the receipt slip from under it, land face up beside his bread plate. "Of course. My mistake." Kaima stepped back, pulse hammering so hard she could hear it in her skull. "Enjoy your evening." She turned. Walked. Didn't run. Behind her, silence stretched like a held breath. Then Jae-Seok's voice, still even, still controlled. "Isabella, would you mind ordering the dessert? I'm curious about that chocolate soufflé you mentioned." "Of course, darling." Kaima made it to the kitchen before her hands started shaking. 20 minutes crawled by like hours. She delivered checks, refilled water glasses, smiled at customers who had no idea what was building in the private room. Through the service window she watched Jae-Seok. He'd switched seats. Subtle shift, casual repositioning that put Isabella in the chair facing the glass wall. He was testing her. The dessert went out at 9:47. Kaima watched the pastry chef's assistant carry the silver tray through the frosted door. Watched it settle on table 1. Through the glass, she could see Isabella leaning forward, animated, saying something that made her gesture toward the window, creating the angle. Jae-Seok lifted his wine glass, took a sip, set it down 3 inches to the left of where it had been. The lights died. Not a flicker. Not a brownout. Complete, immediate darkness that swallowed the restaurant whole. Customers gasped. Someone's chair scraped back. In the kitchen, the emergency generator kicked in, bathing everything in red emergency lighting. Then came the sound. Sharp. Precise. Wrong. Glass exploding inward. Screaming erupted. Kaima's body moved before her mind caught up, dropping behind the service station as more sounds followed. Heavy impacts, running footsteps. Marcus shouting into his phone for police. The emergency exit alarm shrieked to life. Kaima lifted her head. Through the chaos, through the red-lit darkness and the crush of panicking diners, she saw him. Jae-Seok moving through the crowd like water around stones, 2 men in black flanking him, hands inside their jackets. He was leaving. And then his eyes found hers across the room. For 1 crystalline second they locked. Some wordless acknowledgement passed between them. I know what you did, before one of his men grabbed his arm, pulling him toward the kitchen exit. Kaima should have stayed down. Should have waited for the police, given her statement, gone home to her shoebox apartment in Queens. Should have chosen safety. Instead she ran. Through the kitchen, past the pastry station where Marcus was still shouting into his phone. Through the delivery entrance that opened onto the back alley. The cold November air hit her face like a slap. Jae-Seok was 20 feet ahead, moving toward a black Mercedes idling with its lights off. His men moved in formation, weapons drawn now, scanning rooftops and shadows. Wait! The word ripped out of her before she could stop it. They all turned. 3 guns swung toward her in perfect unison. Jae-Seok raised one hand. Hold! Kaima froze, hands up, suddenly aware of how small she was. How civilian. How utterly out of her depth. Her voice cracked. Isabella. Is she alive? His voice carried across the alley. Injured. Convenient. Before she could process that, headlights blazed at the alley's mouth. A van, black, no plates visible. It was accelerating. Get her in the car. Jae-Seok's command cut through the night. Hands grabbed Kaima's arms, not rough but absolutely unyielding. She was lifted, carried, shoved into the Mercedes's back seat. Jae-Seok slid in beside her. The door slammed. Tires screamed against pavement. Gunfire cracked behind them. Kaima hit the floor, hands over her head. That primal animal instinct screaming at her to be small, invisible, not here. The car swerved hard left. More gunfire. The rear window spiderwebbed but didn't shatter. Bulletproof glass, Jae-Seok said calmly, like he was explaining a wine vintage. Stay down anyway. They drove for what felt like hours but was probably 15 minutes. When the car finally stopped, Kaima was pulled out into an underground garage, all concrete and fluorescent lighting. An apartment building, maybe. Anonymous. The kind of place you'd never notice. Up 3 flights of stairs. Down a hallway that smelled like bleach and old carpet. Into a furnished apartment that looked like a hotel room. Functional, sterile, temporary. The door locked behind them with a heavy click. Kaima spun to face Jae-Seok. What the hell just happened? You saved my life. He was already removing his jacket, checking his phone. And consequently destroyed your own. I didn't ask for this. No, he looked at her then, really looked. And she saw something in his eyes that wasn't quite sympathy but wasn't cold either. You didn't. But you made a choice, Miss Monroe. And choices have weight. One of his men appeared from another room. The one who'd grabbed her in the alley. Tall scar across his left eyebrow. Expression carved from stone. Her phone, Jae-Seok said quietly. What? No. Kaima clutched her pocket. I need my phone, I have to call. Who? The question was gentle but it landed like a hammer. Who do you need to call who won't lead them straight to you? She opened her mouth. Closed it. Her roommate Sarah was at her boyfriend's place. Her mother was in Florida. Her boss Marcus. God, Marcus was probably giving statements to the police right now. The man with the scar held out his hand. Kaima slowly pulled out her phone, placed it in his palm. He disappeared into the other room. Sit. Jae-Seok gestured to the couch. We need to talk. I want to leave. Her voice sounded thin, even to herself. And go where? Back to your apartment in Queens? The one at 4237 Elmhurst Avenue Unit 3B? The one with the broken lock on the fire escape window that you keep meaning to report to your landlord. Ice flooded her veins. How do you? Because the people who tried to kill me tonight already know everything about you, Miss Monroe. They know where you live, where you work, where your mother lives in Boca Raton. They know because the moment you passed me that note, you became a problem. Kaima sank onto the couch. Her legs gave out, just stopped working. This isn't happening. It is. He sat across from her, elbows on his knees, hands folded. And I'm going to be honest with you because I respect what you did. You're going to want to leave. You're going to think that if you just go home, act normal, pretend this never happened, you'll be safe. Won't I? No. The word hung in the air between them. You heard something tonight. I don't know what, but enough to warn me. Enough to disrupt a carefully orchestrated assassination. The people who plan this, they don't leave loose ends. They don't take chances. And they certainly don't let witnesses walk away. Kaima's hands twisted in her lap. So what, I'm just trapped? Here. With you. For now. He pulled out his own phone, typed something. Until we figure out who knew about tonight. Until we confirm Isabella's involvement and neutralize the threat. Isabella. Kaima's head snapped up. Your fiancée? You think she? I know she did. His voice went flat, emotionless. The question is whether she was acting alone, or if she's part of something larger. The man with the scar returned, holding Kaima's phone in a plastic bag. It pinged twice before we shut it down. Someone's tracking her. The room tilted. Kaima gripped the couch arm. Tracking me? How? Could be spyware. Could be SIM card cloning. Could be a dozen different methods. Jae-Seok took the bagged phone, studied it. Did you connect to any public Wi-Fi recently? Download any apps? Click any links? I don't know. Maybe. I use Wi-Fi at work, everyone does. That's how they did it then. He set the phone aside. After the incident. After you became visible. They moved fast. Kaima felt sick. Physically, violently sick. Can you fix it? Delete whatever they installed. We could. Jae-Seok exchanged a glance with his associate. But then they'd know we found it. Better to let them think they still have eyes on you. You want them to track me? I want them to track this apartment. To think you're with me. To make their next move. He leaned back, studying her. You don't have to stay, Miss Monroe. I can arrange for you to leave the city. New name, new identity, enough money to start over. You'd be safe. But I lose a witness. Someone who heard those voices. Someone who might be able to identify them if we bring them into the light. Kaima laughed, a brittle, broken sound. I didn't even see their faces. I just heard voices through a vent. Voices have patterns. Accents. Tells. And you're the only person outside this operation who knows Isabella was involved. His gaze sharpened. That makes you valuable. To me and to them. So I'm bait. Your leverage. The distinction felt meaningless. Kaima stood, paced to the window. Outside, Brooklyn stretched in a glitter of lights. Somewhere out there was her normal life. Her apartment, her shifts at Black Orchid, her plans to maybe apply to grad school next year. All of it suddenly felt like it belonged to someone else. How long? She asked quietly. I don't know. At least he wasn't lying. Kaima turned to face him. And if I stay? What happens? We keep you alive. We figure out who's behind this. And when it's over, you testify to what you heard. Help us put Isabella and whoever she's working with away for a very long time. And then I get my life back? Something flickered across his face. Not quite pity, but close. In my world, Miss Monroe, nothing is ever really over. Only paused. The next 3 days passed in a strange, suspended reality. The apartment became her entire universe. Living room, bedroom, bathroom, kitchen. 3 rooms in silence. Jae-Seok's men rotated shifts. The one with the scar was named Min-Jun. The other, younger one was Dae-Young. They never spoke to her beyond necessary communication. Jae-Seok himself appeared twice a day, morning and evening, bringing food and updates. Isabella was in the hospital, recovering from glass wounds. She'd given statements to police about a random shooting. Gang violence probably. So tragic. The story was neat. Clean. Designed to bury the truth. On the third night, Kaima was staring at the ceiling, unable to sleep, when she heard raised voices from the other room. She crept to the door, pressed her ear against it. Can't keep her here indefinitely. Minjun's voice sharp. She's a liability. She's a witness. She's a waitress who overheard something she shouldn't have. They'll kill her the first chance they get. Then we don't give them that chance. A pause. Then Minjun again, quieter. Boss, with respect, what's the endgame here? Isabella's already moved. Accelerated the engagement party. She's going public in 2 days. If they wanted to draw you out, then they've succeeded. Which means we adapt. Footsteps approached the door. Kaima scrambled back, diving onto the couch just as Jae-Seok entered. He knew she'd been listening. She could see it in the slight tilt of his head. But he didn't call her out. Can't sleep? He asked. Would you? No, he moved to the window, hands in his pockets. I've been thinking about what you heard. The exact words. Kaima sat up. I told you everything I remember. Tell me again. Slowly. Every detail. So she did. Closed her eyes and reconstructed it. The ventilation grate. The low voices. Glass wall faces north. Dessert course 12 minutes. Isabella will handle the distraction. The voice that mentioned Isabella, Jae-Seok said. Male or female? Male. Older, maybe? There was she paused, focusing. A slight rasp. Like a smoker. Accent. New York. Maybe Brooklyn. He was typing notes into his phone. And the other voice? Younger. Flatter. Less emotion. Kaima opened her eyes. Why does this matter? Because Isabella doesn't work alone. She's smart, but she's not operational. She needed help planning this. He pocketed his phone. Which means there's someone else. Someone with access to resources. Access to what? Mercenaries. Equipment. Information about my security protocols. His jaw tightened. Isabella knew I'd be at that restaurant. Knew I always sit facing the door. Knew about the glass wall. But someone else put the pieces together. Before Kaima could respond, Minjun burst through the door. We have a problem. They moved fast. Kaima was pulled into the bedroom. Minjun already grabbing a go-bag from the closet. What's happening? She demanded. Locations compromised. Dae-Young appeared, weapon drawn. They found us faster than expected. How? Jae-Seok's voice cut through the chaos. We've been clean. No outside contact. They're tracking something. Minjun thrust the bag at Kaima. We need to move now. Out through the back entrance. Down service stairs that smelled like garbage and mildew. Kaima's heart slammed against her ribs as they emerged into an alley. Another car different from before. She was shoved into the back seat, Jae-Seok beside her. They made it 2 blocks before the other car appeared. Contact rear. Dae-Young's shout came from the front seat. The car swerved. Kaima grabbed the door handle, knuckles white. Then she saw it. Her purse. The stupid canvas tote she'd grabbed from her locker that night at the restaurant. It was on the floor, wedged under the front seat, and she'd been carrying it everywhere because it had her wallet, her keys, my purse. The words came out strangled. Check my purse. Minjun grabbed it, dumped the contents. Wallet. Chapstick. Crumpled receipts. And something else, small, black, sewn into the lining. Tracker. His voice went cold. GPS active. Jae-Seok's expression could have frozen blood. When did you get that purse? It's mine. I've had it for months. When did you last check the lining? Kaima's mind raced. I don't know. It's just a purse I don't. Your locker at work. Jae-Seok's eyes met Minjun's in the rearview mirror. They accessed it after the incident. Planted the tracker while we were focused on her phone. We've been leading them straight to every location. Minjun's hand tightened on the wheel. God damn it. It's not her fault, Jae-Seok said sharply. They're professionals. This is what they do. He turned to Kaima. When was the last time you opened your locker? The night of. Her throat closed. That night. I grabbed my purse and left with you. And before that? Anyone else have access? Just staff. We all share the same code, it's not like. The realization hit her like cold water. Anyone could have gotten in. Anyone at the restaurant. The car behind them was gaining. Kaima could see the driver now. A dark shape behind tinted glass. Minjun took a hard right, tires screaming. Lose them, Jae-Seok ordered. Working on it. They careened through Brooklyn streets, traffic laws abandoned. The other car matched every turn, patient, persistent. They weren't trying to catch up, just keep them in sight. They're hurting us, Minjun said. Pushing us toward. The intersection appeared too fast. Traffic light red. No time to stop. Hold on. Minjun gunned it. They shot through the intersection. Horns blared. Metal screamed as a taxi clipped their bumper. The car fishtailed but Minjun corrected. Kept them moving. The pursuit vehicle wasn't as lucky. A delivery truck plowed into its side, crumpling the passenger door. The chase ended in a crash of glass and steel. Minjun didn't slow down. They drove for 20 minutes in silence. Finally pulled into another garage, another building. This one looked older, less maintained. Burn the purse, Jae-Seok said quietly. All of it. Dae-Young took the canvas tote, walked to a metal trash can in the corner, doused it with lighter fluid. The flames caught fast, bright orange against concrete walls. Kaima watched her purse burn and felt something crack inside her chest. They've been tracking me since that night. Her voice sounded distant, disconnected. Every place we went. Every safe house. I led them straight to you. No, Jae-Seok's hand found her shoulder. They led themselves. You were just the method. If it wasn't the purse, they'd have found another way. How can you know that? Because this is what I do, Miss Monroe. This is the world I live in. And the people trying to kill me, they don't make mistakes. They make contingencies. Minjun approached, expression grim. Boss, we've got another problem. Isabella just announced the engagement party publicly. Tomorrow night. Plaza Hotel, Grand Ballroom. She's accelerating the timeline. Jae-Seok pulled out his phone, scrolled. Guest list. Still being finalized, but... Minjun hesitated. Your name's on there. And hers. He nodded at Kaima. The room temperature dropped. What? Kaima's voice cracked. Why would I be? I've never even met Isabella. You're bait. Jae-Seok's jaw worked. She's smoking you out. Forcing me to either show up and walk into a trap or hide and look weak. And she's using you as leverage. How does she even know my name? The police reports from the restaurant. You gave a statement. Minjun pulled up something on his phone, showed it to Jae-Seok. It leaked online 3 hours ago. Your full name, your position at Black Orchid. They probably have your address by now too. Kaima sank against the concrete wall. This was a nightmare. An actual waking nightmare. So what do? We adapt. Jae-Seok began typing rapidly. Isabella thinks she's controlling the board. She's wrong. How? He looked up. Because she doesn't know you can identify her voice. The final apartment was different. Smaller. Just 2 rooms, but the security was visible. Cameras, reinforced door, windows that didn't open. A fortress pretending to be a studio. Kaima sat on the single bed while Jae-Seok made calls in Korean. His voice low and urgent. Outside, rain started to fall, pattering against bulletproof glass. When he finally hung up, the sky had gone full dark. Tomorrow night, he said. Isabella expects me to either attend the party or go into hiding. She's planned for both scenarios. What's the third option? We give her what she wants. I attend. But on my terms. That's insane. It's a trap. Everything is a trap, Miss Monroe. The question is who controls it. He sat down across from her. I need you to listen to me very carefully. You don't have to do this. I can still get you out of the city. New identity, new life. You'd be safe. But you'd lose your witness. Yes. Kaima studied him. Really studied him for the first time. He was younger than she'd thought, maybe early 30s. And tired. The kind of tired that lived in bones that no amount of sleep could fix. What happens if I testify? She asked. After all this. What happens to me? Witness protection most likely. Federal custody until trial. Then relocation. And Isabella? Goes to prison. Along with everyone who helped her. And you. He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. I go back to my world. The one that's always waiting. Kaima leaned back against the wall. Your world sounds exhausting. It is. Then why stay in it? Because it's the only world I know. He stood, moved to the window. I was born into this, Miss Monroe. My family, their obligations, their wars. I didn't choose it. I just learned to survive it. That's not living. No, he agreed quietly. It's not. Silence settled between them, broken only by rain and distant sirens. I'll do it, Kaima said finally. I'll stay. I'll testify. Why? Because you saved me. In that alley when you could have left me behind. You didn't. She met his eyes. And because maybe some worlds need people who'll do the right thing even when it's terrifying. Something shifted in his expression. Not gratitude exactly. Recognition maybe. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. I'm probably going to slow you down. Then we'll move slowly. He held out his hand. After a moment Kaima took it. His grip was warm, solid, real. Tomorrow, he said. Everything changes. Isabella's made her move. Now we make ours. What if it doesn't work? Then we improvise. He released her hand. Get some rest, Miss Monroe. Tomorrow's going to be a very long day. But Kaima couldn't sleep. She lay in the dark, listening to Minjun's quiet movements in the other room, watching shadows play across the ceiling. Somewhere out there, Isabella Chen was planning, preparing, expecting her fiancé to walk into her perfectly laid trap. And Kaima Monroe, waitress from Queens with a sociology degree and no business being here, was about to walk right in beside him. Around 3 a.m. her phone, the new one Dae-young had given her, clean and secure, buzzed with a news alert. Society engagement party promises glamour and surprises. Guest list revealed. She scrolled through the names. Manhattan elite. Old money and new. Politicians and socialites. And there near the bottom. Special guests include Mr. Han Jae-Seok and Miss Kaima Monroe. Her name. In print. In a world she didn't belong to. The bathroom light flicked on. Jae-Seok appeared in the doorway, fully dressed despite the hour. You saw it. How did she get my name on there? How is any of this legal? It's not about legal, Miss Monroe. It's about power. Isabella's demonstrating hers. He leaned against the doorframe. She's telling me she can reach anyone. Even you. I'm not afraid of her. You should be. But there was something almost like pride in his voice. Fear keeps you sharp. Keeps you careful. Kaima set the phone aside. What's she like? Isabella. Ambitious. Brilliant. Absolutely ruthless when it comes to getting what she wants. He paused. I should have seen it sooner. Seen what? That she wanted something I couldn't give her. What's that? Everything. The word hung in the air like smoke. Kaima pulled her knees to her chest. Do you love her? I thought I did. Once. Jae-Seok crossed to the window, stared out at the rain-slicked city. But love in my world is complicated. It's strategy and alliance and leverage. What I felt for Isabella. I don't know if it was love or just convenience. That's sad. That's survival. Maybe they shouldn't be different things. He turned to look at her, and for the first time since this nightmare began, Kaima saw something human in his eyes. Not the cold calculation, not the tactical assessment. Just exhaustion and regret and something that might have been loneliness. Maybe, he said quietly. But they are. The rain continued to fall. Somewhere in Manhattan, Isabella Chen was sleeping soundly, secure in her plans. Tomorrow night, the Plaza Hotel would fill with beautiful people in beautiful clothes, celebrating a love that had been alive from the start. And Kaima Monroe, who'd only wanted to serve wine and save for grad school, would walk into that den of vipers and help bring it all crashing down. She survived. Jae-Seok moved toward the door. Try to rest. Tomorrow. I know, Kaima interrupted. Tomorrow everything changes. No, he corrected, something dark and determined in his voice. Tomorrow we change everything. He left. The apartment settled into silence. Kaima stared at the ceiling and wondered what her mother would say if she could see her now. Probably something about making smart choices, about thinking before acting, about not getting involved in things that weren't her business. Too late for all of that. Kaima closed her eyes and tried to imagine tomorrow. The party. The crowds. Isabella's face when she realized her trap had teeth of its own. But all she could see was that moment in the alley. Jae-Seok's eyes meeting hers across chaos. And the choice that had changed everything. Some choices you made with your head. Some with your heart. And some you made because staying silent was its own kind of death. Outside, the rain fell harder, washing the city clean. Tomorrow would come whether she was ready or not. The question now wasn't whether she'd survive it. It was whether she'd recognize herself when it was over. If you got here, drop a comment and let me know where you watched from. And don't forget to like and hit that subscribe button. Remember, stay safe out there. Because in worlds like these, the only thing more dangerous than your enemies is the moment you forget to be afraid.